My name is Grant Washington Smith. I'm a nutritional scientist and the technical manager for Lazu. Thank you for giving up some of your time to spend with us while I go through some of the products and go into the features and the benefits that this product range has to offer. Lazu is based out of New Zealand. We've been marketing our products for several years around mostly Europe and into the United States. We're very pleased to be able to present this range of products and some of the technical components that these products have to offer. As a company, Lazu has three particular areas of interest we call pillars of lifestyle nutrition. The first area is immune health, and we have a number of products that deal with immune support and immune health in general. The first of these is Lazu Golden Wellness, which was a dairy-based powder blend that we brought to market a number of years ago and has had success in a variety of different international markets. Another product for immune health, which we'll go into shortly, is a product called Virusin. This was developed as an antiviral using some interesting technologies to help improve the performance of zinc, which we've known has antiviral effects but is limited in its capacity because it doesn't transfer across a cell membrane particularly well. So Virusin was a product designed to assist zinc in transporting across a cell membrane where it can do the most damage to a viral replication process and have the greatest impact on human health. The other area is in the area of weight management. Lazu developed a range of keto-based products. And finally, again, looking at anti-aging at a cellular level, we brought in best-of-class products with Lazu's Age Renew and Skin Protect. The first product that I want to introduce is Lazu Golden Wellness. This is based on a dairy platform, dairy milk powder with Manuka honey from New Zealand and colostrum. There's a combination of those two components. We've taken New Zealand non-fat dairy powder. We've added colostrum with 20% IgG, immunoglobulin G, that provides 310 milligrams of IgG per serving. We've also added to that a honey powder, which is a monofloral Manuka honey. That is its purest Manuka honey we can get. It's standardized at what's referred to in the industry as 200 plus MGO, which is a method of standardizing and comparing the relative strengths of Manuka honey in the marketplace. We've added a probiotic strain blend. Actually one that I've created. I worked with the manufacturers of this to develop this unique 17 strain probiotic we call LBS 17. The L stands for lactobacillus, bifidobacteria for B, and strep, as in strep thermophilus and strep salivarius, which are two very important organisms that live around the oral cavity. We have fiber and a prebiotic component to this as well, largely driven by the realization in the West, United States, New Zealand, Australia, and the like, that the fiber component of the diet is actually quite poor. And we wanted to contribute to increasing the fiber component in someone's diet. Omega-3 DHA component, and of course a standard vitamin mineral premix in there as well. Basically, the point of this product is it's a good platform, it's a good building block for human health, and really designed to help support immune health in general, but it's a good general tonic across the board. But it is focused on the synergistic benefits to overall immune support. Lazu Virusin, this is this natural zinc ionophore that I referred to earlier. This is about creating a transporter molecule that enables zinc to move across the cell membrane much more effectively than it would be if it was just consumed as an elemental zinc supplement. So we've created a very bioavailable form of quercetin. Quercetin acts as the zinc transporter in this case. And we actually have a patent pending technology called EBAT, which we use to help enhance the bioavailability. And that's what it stands for, enhanced bioavailability and absorption technology. We've done some testing on this technology as part of the patent application and filing, and found that when quercetin was consumed, normally quercetin has a very low bioavailability. It's poorly absorbed in the diet. You've got to take a lot of it. But once you take it with the EBAT ingredient technology, that rapidly improves the absorption characteristics of quercetin. So from 500 milligrams, you're getting almost an equivalent dose of 5 grams of material. So that helps enormously with the function of zinc. We've also added vitamin C that supports zinc absorption as well, and vitamin D3. Largely, a lot of work's been done on vitamin D3 and its supporting role that it plays in during viral impacts. Vitamin D3 is a natural antibiotic, antimicrobial in of itself. So this has been very effective. We've had a lot of feedback from individuals over the last couple of years who've taken this when they thought they may have been exposed to sort of viral infection of one form or another. Even things that we sort of take for granted, like cold sore, herpes infection around the face. People have reported knowing the symptomology and the tingling sensation that they get taking the virus in, and it simply never came to fruition, never advanced any further, which was a first for them. So as I indicated to them, that this works effectively against all virus, because its targeted replication of viruses are pretty standardized, and zinc has this effect but when it can enter the cell and break that replication cycle. We introduced a keto range of products, starting with the keto meal replacement, the keto shake meal replacement. This is essentially a true keto meal replacement, following the general guidelines of 70% fat content, 20% protein, and 10% carb. Those are the ratios that are recommended to be a true ketogenic meal. There are a lot of products in the marketplace which are essentially protein shakes. They've added some medium chain triglycerides so that they can effectively target the keto market, which as many of you probably know, the important thing with dealing with a ketogenic diet is first standardize for a moderate protein. A ketogenic diet is not a high protein diet, it's a moderate protein, and you standardize on that. You keep your carbohydrate down around 10% of calories for the day, and then you compensate with your required additional calories through consumption of fat, in this case medium chain triglycerides. We wanted to have a product which was a pretty clean keto product as well. That's another criticism of the keto industry, the keto foods in general. So we have stuck to medium chain triglycerides from coconut sources. We don't believe in adding fats that are of seed origin. In fact, we recommend those on a diet, on a ketogenic diet, avoid seed-based oils. They're high in omega-6s, which in of themselves is fine, but when taken in excess become pro-inflammatory. And unfortunately, the Western diet, the standard American diet, is extremely high in omega-6 content, which pushes most people over the borderline, become pro-inflammatory. MCTs, medium chain triglycerides, are not pro-inflammatory in this respect, and so that was our choice. We've added an electrolyte and probiotic. One of the components that we find when someone's on a ketogenic diet, if you're successfully in ketosis for any length of time, you'll know this. there is a loss of electrolytes from the body. One of the criticisms is that a lot of people suffer from muscle cramps, largely in part due to a loss of magnesium and sodium from the body. So to compensate, we've built some electrolyte component back in there. And the other thing that one can suffer from on an extended ketogenic diet is a change in the gut microbiome. So we want to ensure that the gut microbiome stays intact. So we've added a probiotic component to it as well. One of the few meal replacements that go to that extent. Weight management is one of the second pillar of the Lazu story as well. So immunity being our primary pillar, but weight management in general is our second pillar of what we believe is important to those in from a lifestyle brand. Further to my point on loss of electrolytes, probiotics and fiber, we added this BioRestore product, which is essentially an electrolyte drink. And it's, again, designed to go above and beyond by restoring essential electrolytes. We tend to lose significant electrolyte activity, and as a change in insulin response, the kidneys tend to excrete greater percentage of minerals from the blood as part of the filtration process. So maintaining electrolytes is important, and we believe that it's also a significant component of what's referred to as a keto flu. So we'd suggest anybody that's sort of suffering those early symptoms of the keto flu, which happens in the first few days of being in ketosis. It's one of the hurdles that a lot of new individuals have to get over. And what we've found is that for a lot of folk, taking electrolytes during that period does mitigate some of the symptoms of the keto flu. Some of that sore heads and the sort of feeling of lethargy. We also recommend, when you're on a keto diet, or if you're fasting for any length of time, same scenario, take a BioRestore dose in the evenings. Now, while it does contain some fiber and it technically does break the fast, for those who are more interested in managing sort of their general health as opposed to strictly caloric restriction, the advantage with taking electrolyte in the evenings, it does tend to help you through that period of hunger. It seems as though, this is again anecdotally reported, but one of the big drivers in hunger seems to be the need to consume salts of some form or another. And if you can take your electrolytes, your salts in the form of electrolyte drink, that can often help significantly with the need to feel like you have to eat something. People generally feel a lot better after an electrolyte drink. So with this product, with BioRestore, it's not just about the electrolytes. We also want to reseed the gut with a great probiotic range. So we believe that a 17-strain blend is important. And of course, fiber replacement as well. I don't care what sort of diet you're on. There's no excuse for not taking fiber. A lot of people suffer from gastrointestinal distress from fiber. We're not talking about consuming large quantities of fiber in one of these single doses. But those who have a reaction to the consumption of fiber of any form, that is a pretty important cue for you to look closely at your gut microbiome, because it's clearly not well balanced if you can't tolerate fiber in your diet. And it's at that particular stage where you should actually be considering very gradually incorporating on a very consistent basis, incorporating fiber back into your diet to build tolerance to it. And at the same time, a broad spectrum probiotic will also be important. So you should be able to consume fiber into your diet. We've lost that ability. Extensive use of antibiotics is probably a primary culprit in that process, but it is important that you do start trying to add fibre back. For those that can tolerate it, the BioRestore is a great product to consume in that respect. We've added a keto capsule. This is a beta hydroxybutyrate. This is an exogenous ketone, which means a ketone that we're adding to our diet, not one we make internally. So this is one that we add to our diet, hence the term exogenous. It's a ketone salt made up from calcium beta hydroxybutyrate and magnesium beta hydroxybutyrate. We've added apple cider vinegar and just a small amount of boron. Again, quite important products for both managing insulin response, managing hunger as well, which is important. One of the advantages with the Keto Max product, especially during those early stages of getting into ketosis, it really does help reinvigorate the mind. If you're feeling hungry, feeling lethargic, you certainly will feel the effects of improved mental clarity and reduced hunger with this. We have 1,800 milligrams per serve, which is nearly 3 times what the common industry average has been. The data suggests that you really do need to be in up and around that 1.5 grams per serve range to be reasonably effective. A lot of products in the past hadn't been close to that, in that 600 to 800 milligram per serve range. It really wasn't providing enough ketones, exogenous ketones, to have any real consequential effects in the body. But this is a product which we think is going to be really beneficial. Like I say, especially during those early days. And even if someone is on a low carb diet but not in ketosis, but they want to get some mental clarity, some increased focus over the short term, Keto Max is a great product, and I take it regularly for that purpose as well. This is the third pillar in the area of anti-aging, age protection, maintaining our youthful vigor for longer, holding on to our good health, extending our health span for as long as we can. Aging is a very, very complicated process, and there's clearly no one particular solution. But what we do know from the data is that there are two agents associated with accelerated aging. As we age, we lose NAD+, which is an important sensing hormone. It's partly involved in mitochondrial production for maintaining energy supplies. And what we've found is that NAD+ gradually declines with age, in part due to an increase in an enzyme called CD38. It sort of acts like the Pac-Man chasing the NAD+. It sort of gobbles it up and destroys it as we age. And what we've noticed is that CD38 increases with age at almost an inverse proportional rate as NAD falls, or NAD+ falls. So what we've found, what the research has found, is that if you can suppress the CD38 from increasing, you can hold on to your NAD+ longer. And that's essentially it. So Age Renew was actually established to try and inhibit the impact of CD38's effect on the body and prevent the accumulation with age, therefore holding on to as much NAD+ as we can. So that's the first part of this dual action anti-aging activity. The second part, which is a part that is of particular interest to me in the area of research that I'm involved in, is this senolytic activity or senolytic agent. A number of other components in this formulation really go to target these cells in our body. What happens as we age, we get to a certain point where after a certain number of cell divisions, our cells are programmed to basically die. It's called apoptosis. And that gives space for new cells to come through and regenerate, for stem cells, for adult stem cells to ultimately take their place of those who have gone through this programmed cell death. Well, unfortunately, some cells just refuse to die. They get to the end of their replication cycles and then they stop doing anything. And they've been nicknamed zombie cells because essentially they're in that state of not being useful living cells, but they're still alive, but they've reached the end of their life, but they're still holding on. They should die, but they won't. They could stay around forever and ever. And as we age, we sort of collect more and more of these zombie cells. But it's worse than having them just take up space. What some of these zombie cells do is that they secrete proteins to neighboring cells and turn all these other cells, which are generally pretty healthy, also into zombie cells. And that's where this idea comes from, is if you could target some of these senescent cells, these sort of suspended animation cells in some ways, and force them to go through that final phase to push them over to the other side, into their programmed cell death. That just clears them out of the body and new reinvigorated tissues can reform in their place. So a lot of work's been done on senolytic agents, and there are a number of naturally occurring senolytics, fisetin, quercetin, apigenin. Fisetin is famous because it's from strawberries, although you would have to eat an absolute colossal amount of strawberry to get the amount of fisetin you'd need. Quercetin, again, quercetin's a great product. It's found in onion, it's found in green tea, it's found a lot as a flavonoid. It's probably one of the most ubiquitous, one of the most common that we consume, but it's very, very poor bioavailability. Apigenin is found in parsley. You also have to eat a lot of parsley to get the effects of apigenin. So we've incorporated those into a senolytic and NAD boosting formulation. We've added vitamin C, we've added the zinc, and we've also added the EBAT formula so that these compounds can have a much more potent effect than they would have otherwise without it. Lazu Skin Protect. Now let me first say that this is not a replacement for sunscreen. This is a product that you would take in addition to sunscreen. Polypodium leukotomus is the active ingredient. It's widely recommended by dermatologists in New Zealand. New Zealand has and will continue to have a very significant rate of skin cancer. Australia and New Zealand have the highest rates of skin cancers in the world, largely due to the high exposure of UV light. New Zealand has 40% higher UVB exposure than exactly the same latitude and altitude of its equivalent site, which happens to be in Germany. New Zealand atmospheric scientists have measured UV light intensity in this country, in New Zealand, and they've compared that with its equivalent Northern Hemisphere counterpart, which is in Germany, and they found that we have a massive amount of UV light. And it's all to do with what's been referred to as having a hole in our ozone layer that's sort of in geosynchronous orbit with the country. It extends over part of Australia and New Zealand, and it's across the lower part of the Pacific as well. Unfortunately, for those of us who live here, it means we're exposed to far higher degrees of UV radiation. We have to wear sunblock a lot more extensively, and our dermatologists are seeing melanoma cases at much, much greater rates than that dermatologists would typically see in, say, the United States. One of the products that a lot of dermatologists recommend, in addition to taking their sunscreens and various other sun-blocking clothes people wear and the wide brim hats, polypodium leukotomas is also recommended. So we developed the Skin Protect, which is a combination of the polypodium leukotomas, which has had extensive research, clinical backing done for this particular area of interest, plus a multivitamin, multi-mineral component in there as well. Nicotinamide also plays a role in this product, and a lot of good research has been done over the use of nicotinamide, vitamin B, in this case, for management of skin protection from UV light. One of the fastest ways to accelerate aged skin is through sun damage, and this product will help mitigate the risk of accelerated aging in skin. And it's also, many of the components in this product have been shown to be effective at actually reversing some of those accelerated aging effects and making skin look and appear more youthful. Some of the other products we have in the range as well, vitamin C, 1,000 milligrams, zinc at 50 milligrams. That's an interesting product. We've recommended to bundle with the Virusin. Both the vitamin C and the zinc are great bundle products with the Virusin. Immunoforce, that's been a great botanical immune supporter, not specifically targeted at viral replication, but just general immune support, and could be taken on a daily basis as well. It's got a nice range of botanicals for those who like that, including the vitamin C and the zinc as well. So this is our everyday wellness package as it stands at the present time. So like I said, just to recap, the three pillars of our product range. We start with immunity, we then look at weight management, and then we target aging. And we will continue to build on the product range, driven largely through the lens of those three pillars. But that's what we have. If you have any questions, we're more than happy to answer those. But thank you for the opportunity of presenting our product range.
And that concludes our product training. We appreciate you taking the time to review the products with us, hopefully learning a little bit more about the features, but most importantly, the benefits that these products have to offer. I think you'll agree that there is an exceptional range in terms of functionality that these products have to offer the consumer, and we look forward to doing business in the future. Thank you. Bye.